I think there's a lot of media and music that's sending a lot of dysfunctional messages and making it all about, let me get with this guy, not so much because I want to adore him and be a part of his mission and serve him and part of his purpose, but so I can get with this guy for resource extraction and make him a means to an end. So when you do that, you can't be mad when the guy treats you like crap or sees you as utility too, because it's transaction all the way around. And we're just gonna have to we have to be good with that. So you get the relationship energy that you put in. It's like you want to be treated like a princess, but you want to treat him like a utility, like a walking ATM. And that's just never going to work out in the long run. Nobody is being taught by people, I think, with experience on how to have a healthy relationship. 'Cause like we talked about before, you got to have the thing you're telling people how to get. Otherwise, it's hard to take you seriously. So I think we need people with a lot of experience, a lot of time, and a lot of patience to show women this is how you treat them. And they have to lead by example. And I think we're not having enough of leading by example.
So, really quickly, before you jump in, Jay, I just want to say something that's interesting. While looking through this particular topic, just so you know, in Senegal, they actually opened up a charm school for men. It was a husband school. It was to teach the men how to be husbands to their wives because they found that in that particular case, that the husbands were lacking that emotional intelligence and support and recognizing what their wives may need in the household. So, all this to say, you may be onto something in regards to schools that are opening because there's definitely one that's already opening in Senegal. It's just so happy to be teaching men how to be husbands.
See, S&M, what's so awesome about you is you were talking the first time and I almost forgot and I was going to let it go. And then you talked again and I was like, oh shit, she reminded me. So I got to say this because you made a classic mistake that a lot of women make and I got to call it out. Cooking and cleaning and the things that you do around the home has absolutely nothing to do necessarily with how you treat your man. The fact that you was like, oh, she does these things and somehow that should equate to she treats him well is cap. And I'm just calling it out. And I don't think you meant to do this, but that's what's happened, right? Because a lot of women do that. They think that, yes, it's like a man. I pay the bills around here. I make sure the trash is taken out. So of course I'm taking care of all your needs. And a woman will say, no, you're not. Right? There's other things as it relates to me. Are you thinking about me? Are you caring about me? Are you considering me? All that other shit got nothing to do with because she's doing shit in terms of maintaining the relationship in terms of how she treats him. Does she know his favorite color? Does she knows what he likes to eat? Yeah, you cooking whatever you want to cook, but are you even considering his diet? His health, for example? Like consideration might be the purest form of love, and some people ain't showing enough of it because they were not taught it, is what I'm saying, right? So I'm sorry, Jay, but all that, oh, she did this, that, and the third.
You should be sorry. You should be sorry. You just stepped all on my point. I learned, I was like, yeah, she walked into it perfectly. And then you're like,
when we talk about this in the manosphere space, in the red pill space, these are the things that they identify as far as being taken care of, which is why those were used as part of those talking points.
That's not true.
But I do recognize the emotional intelligence piece as far as the respect and so forth. That can also mean that that's how we can look out for, like, asking the person, how are you doing? And actually listening to them, because some women don't do that. So I understand that piece as well.
I'm just saying. You misunderstand.
I'm not fixing it. I'm saying this is what came from y'all.
Y'all so basic. Y'all don't even do the basic shit. Y'all want us to show up like Superman. That's why they make that argument about cooking and cleaning. But how a nigga is treated starts with consideration, starts with accountability. Right? If you want to get to the heart and nugget of it, that women show how you really love and respect is accountability and consideration. Okay? So all that other shit is you just doing your wifely fucking duties, and niggas are saying, damn, bitch, you ain't even doing that. You want me to put a ring on it? The fuck? That's what they say. But I'm sorry, Jay. You're conflating S&M. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yes. So S&M, she might not recall. She did say something about, but they all talk about how the women, because you took issue with my saying of presence. Because some women believe that as a wife, all they do have to do is be present. I'm here all the time, because for every woman who cooks, clean, and bears kids, there's a woman who says, I don't want any kids. I'm a career woman. I don't want a soft life, but I still want to be married. I still want to be somebody's wife. Cooking, I can hire a cook. I can hire a nanny. I can hire a maid to do the laundry, right? I can outsource all of these things. I remember having this same conversation with my second wife. Anyway, it was shortly before the divorce. I'm making a point. So here's the problem, right? We've watered down what it means to be a wife. Too many folks think it just stops at cooking and cleaning and raising kids. And that's housekeeping, right? That's service industry, right? But that's not servicing your man. It's parenting. It's what you're supposed to do because you chose to have a child. You chose to make a being that you got to care for. You don't get extra points for that. It's your job, okay? So it ain't, but it's not full picture wifing because you can be a wife even if you have no children, right? So raising the children cannot be the quintessential thing that defines a wife. Being a wife is about holistic support. And I don't mean just clapping when your man wins, because yeah, everybody can do that because all you see is your bag coming. I mean pouring into him when he's empty. Right? I mean, not walking away from him when he loses his job or he on some downtime or when he's just too tired and beat down by the world to really move like he normally moves. You covering him and getting a little bit of the slack, just a little bit of it, letting him be vulnerable for a minute. That's being a wife. Listen, it's more than just emotional support. And see, and here's the problem with women nowadays. Women are trying to define.
I listed a whole other thing
emotional
of what
support
comes
wife.
to the wife.
Right,
It
right. You got
includes emotional support.
Here's my
Those
point.
are the things that you just talked about.
But that's my point, though. You're still trying to define the role of a wife in one word things, in these little things. Well, if I'm this, then I'm doing the wife thing. And it's a holistic approach. Women are trying to pick out this one thing and go, wives do this, I do this, that makes me a good wife. No, ma'am. No. Just because you brush one tooth don't mean you got good dental hygiene. Okay? You're missing a few. All right? A real wife is about fortifying her husband. We told every day, provide, protect, show up no matter what. But women aren't taught about being there for him by being soft with him when he needs it, right? They're not taught reciprocity. And so many people think sex and affection is the exchange and this ain't enough. And that's surface. Let's be honest. If I don't like you, I don't want your sex. At least not enough to really put my all into it. Man needs peace, respect, vision, and partnership, y'all. We need more than that. We need more than you showing up, more than you being the maid and the housekeeper and all that. We need you to be our partner. The truth is, a wife is the one who helps to build a man into the best version of himself that the world cannot break. Why? Because she has his back. That's why the old saying was a helpmeet in the Bible, or not a roommate, not a buddy, right? So until we get back to teaching that part, because there's been a lot of miseducation. That's what I'm hearing from everybody. There's been a lot of miseducation, and Lauryn Hill ain't the only one, right? Until we get back to teaching that part, marriage is going to keep looking like situationships dressed up with rings.
I mean, listen, if y'all good, right? Because I was going to transition into happy wife, happy life, right? I wanted to stay away from the wives conversation because I feel like it may show up differently for different people. I feel like you mentioned all the great qualities that if we all could just pick from the healthiest basket of attributes that we'd want from our significant others, we can just shop at that aisle, right? But I feel like when you talk about treating a man, and I got to say this, you have to know the man to know how to treat the man. Sometimes people may do things as cookie cutter, right? Oh, I think all men watch sports, so I'll let him watch sports on Sundays. If that's not his vibe, he's not going to appreciate that. It's similar to the whole love language thing, right? So I think where it starts with how you should treat your man should probably be to know your man. That's why I mentioned the whole thing about like knowing what he likes. I mean, I know it's a crazy concept. Like, can you imagine actually knowing his favorite things or what he enjoys doing on his own time that doesn't involve you, right? Or his moods, or when he might need the support that Jay's talking about. And the support that he needs, how should it show up? Some of y'all want to show up for support how you want to do it. You want to nag, or you think, oh, I'm pushing him. He needs to be motivated. No, you don't. Maybe not right now. Not the way that you're doing it, right? Maybe he needs you to be more like, hey, babe, it's okay. I got you. You know what I'm saying? You need some time. Maybe you need space. Right? Some of y'all, when I say consideration, I think I saw a meme today. The purest form of love is consideration. And I thought about it for a second and I was like, yeah, I could fuck with that. Because when you say pure, you're talking about, okay, I feel this way or I'm connected to you and I'm going to consider you as deeply as I humanly possibly can, right? And in order to do that, I have to pay attention, I have to learn, I have to ingest, you know what I'm saying? I have to interpret, hopefully beyond myself. So I just feel like treating a man starts with knowing the man that you want to treat and figure out the ways that he wants to be treated. Not just the way that you think a man should be treated, because I think both men and women make this mistake that, hey, I'm going to love you or treat you the way I think you should be treated with disregard for how that person actually wants to be treated. And so that's why I think the whole love language thing is fire, because I think it frames it in such a way that people can try to identify the buckets of areas that they love or how it shows up. But I just think too many people are doing it their way while claiming they love mean consider the other person without considering how that other person wants to be loved.